Are you ready, Freddie? We never picked a name for it. Oh, shoot. What can we call this?
Love is confusing.
Love
is messy.
Love is messy. Really messy.
Yeah.
What else can we do? Two girls, not one cup. Two girls, one show.
Wait, you have lip gloss on your teeth. On your right. Oh, wait, no, you got it. You just licked it off. It's gone.
Alrighty. I guess we'll have to figure out a name eventually.
I had something percolating in my brain when you mentioned it.
Oh.
And I was like, that's stupid. And now I can't remember.
Oh, you don't remember. It probably wasn't stupid. I bet it was like a wonderful idea.
I don't know. I should have wrote it down.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, I guess we can get started. Hello. Hello there. I am with my wonderful, beautiful friend, Margaret.
Wow, thank
you. It's the truth. I will tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you a lie. But today we're here because you and I are lovers of reality TV.
Yes.
And recently, Netflix dropped the fifth season.
Yes.
Numero 5 season of Love is Blind. Or as Margaret was saying, Love is messy.
Hella messy.
Very, very messy. All the time. And they dropped 4 episodes.
Yes.
And so we're here, we're going to discuss what the fuck is this hot mess express, because I was the whole entire time just flabbergasted by the corniness, by the cringe of all of this.
Yeah,
so much cringe.
A lot.
Oh my God, like every 10 seconds I felt my body just tense. I felt my booty cheeks like literally clenched. They clenched. So episode 1 opens up with a little trailer of what's to come. We see the drama, we see the tears, and we see some booty cheeks.
Yes, which they must be Uche's.
They are. Yes, I saw some, brown skin booty cheeks.
Yeah, so now we know who to make.
Yes, we do. So it opens up with, some booty cheeks, people on the beach, people being dramatic, screaming, crying, kicking, the whole 9. And this season we're going to H-Town. We're here in Houston. Well, we haven't gotten to Houston yet, but we have some Houston hotties. H-Town, the birthplace of Queen Bee.
Oh, yes.
I don't think...
And Meg.
Meg was not born in Houston.
Where the hell was she born?
I don't remember where. I'm going to Google it and probably put it...
I thought she said, hey, H-Town hotties or whatever
she was like raised in H-Town.
Oh, but she wasn't born there.
Yes.
She can still claim it,
She claims it. So Birthtown, or the birthplace of Queen Bee, and the primary residence of
the stallion.
Of the hot girl coach herself, Miss Megan Thee Stallion. So that's where we start off. And we start off with a bunch of people. Oh, here's Esther. Hello, Esther. It's okay. Come on in. Say hello to the camera.
She said no, I'm not going to.
Okay.
She denied.
You're like, y'all need to get out. So yes, we're in Houston.
Yes.
And so we can talk about the ladies first.
Yes.
And then we can talk about the men, and we're going to talk about this mess. First off, we have Miss Aaliyah. She's a 29-year-old ICU nurse. Yes. I like Aaliyah.
I like Aaliyah a lot, too. She's just a gorgeous girl.
Gorgeous woman.
I like that she knows what she wants.
Yes.
She's able to articulate that very clearly.
Very emotionally mature. And she's very affectionate and loving. And I'm like, I'm rooting for you.
I'm rooting for her as well.
I feel like after watching 4 episodes, she's the only person I liked.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I don't like anybody else.
All of them, basura.
The rest of them, throw them out immediately. Well, actually, you know what? I don't mind Taylor.
I didn't mind Taylor.
She hasn't said much.
Yes. So Taylor's 25 and in elementary
now
school.
Now JP. We ain't talking about the men yet, but
JP.
America.
Yes. We have Aaliyah. We have Taylor, who's 25 and an elementary school teacher. There's this girl named Estefania who got like 10 seconds of...
I would have loved to know more about her. Can I just say, justice for the other members of the cast that we never get to see. Like, some of them are probably really interesting.
Yeah. And we learned last year people get engaged and we don't know.
Yes, and we never find out about it.
So I don't know. Justice for all the people who we don't get to.
At least give us like a B-roll. Matter of fact,
that would be nice.
You know what? Netflix, cut me a check because I just gave you an idea.
I would love that. I would love to see the behind the scenes, all the things you didn't see.
Exactly.
We have Chandra, who's 32 and a flight attendant. Someone else we didn't see very much of. Maris, I don't even remember her.
I don't even know who that was.
She was an Asian girl. One of the Asian girls.
There was Asian girls?
Yeah. I believe Estefania. Well, Estefania gives me like Filipino, maybe Mexican. I don't know. So Maris. We have Paige. I don't remember a Paige. Renee was the girl who was like doing splits in the the one blonde girl with
splits. Who was doing splits?
She was they were doing like a dance date and she was doing splits.
Girl, I must not have paid attention enough because I don't know who you're talking about.
Then we have Lydia, Mrs. Puerto Rico.
Well, let me not do it like
yes. We will get into Lydia. She's 30 in the video, in the show. Now she's 32 and she's a geologist and she's from La Isla de Puerto Rico, which she says every 10 seconds. She goes, hi, I'm Lydia and I'm from Puerto Rico.
Which, you know, we love. Shout out to the Puerto Ricans.
Yes, I feel like a Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
I feel like a Puerto Rican.
It's giving very much Puerto Rican.
A Puerto Rican.
Shout out to Mel Mitch.
There was Erica.
Who that?
She's this like she's like a caramel skin girl. I don't remember her either. So Miriam.
Yes, I remember Miriam. She's a Niger girl
and a habitual liar.
Yeah, she was giving me pathological.
She was just lying. We see her for like a minute.
Also, she was hanging out with Stacy, and I said, Miriam.
Then we have Stacy, who's like 33 and a whole lot. Personality-wise, and she wears a lot of bronzer, and it bothered me.
I was gonna say she was part orange.
She was heavy, yes.
Part orange. The camera was not doing her justice at all.
It was just like a block. I said, we need to learn to blend. But we have Stacy. We have Johnny, who's a lawyer. Johnny is the one who was always crying about
the girl with the addiction boyfriend.
Right. Yes, and her mom was like, maybe. I don't think her mom told her, I don't see you in a relationship. I think her mom was probably like, hey, maybe take a break. Maybe you don't need to be in a relationship.
I think her mom was probably raising a really valid point of like, why are you picking these people?
Like, maybe we need to chill out.
Because you make, you pick the people you end up in relationships
But she was teary-eyed saying, it's really hard to hear that. And I'm like, after 4 episodes.
As we saw from what she did, I said, I see how you ended up with
Mama has some concerns.
Your mother knew what was up.
Then we have Linda. I don't remember Linda.
Linda, listen. Listen, Linda. We don't know who you are, Linda.
No. We have Myra, who's a minister.
I think I remember seeing her on camera for like a hot second.
For like 10 seconds.
And I was like, they got a minister up here? Who is this, Cold Part 2?
I don't know. But the point being,
he was a youth whatever, it's all the same.
So those were the women, but the women we're probably going to focus on are Aaliyah, Taylor, Lydia.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes.
And am I missing somebody?
No, I think that's it.
That's it. Okay.
I don't think they really went through anyone else.
No. The men, there was a Robert. I don't recall him either. There's Izzy.
Oh, Jesus.
Izzy, who got the girls in a tizzy.
But
we have Chris Fox, Johnny's man, the second man, Chris.
Oh, that Chris.
Yes. There was an Ephraim. I don't remember him. There was Ernesto, Mr. I Burp on dates.
Oh, yeah.
Gross. That was the only I remember he burped.
Yeah.
There's Connor. Then there's Enoch. Don't recall him either. Jared. Jared was the guy who was like, oh, women don't pick me because I'm really skinny. And they were, in the beginning, like the first 10 seconds. But we have Jared. We have the other Jared, who is JP.
Oh, that's his name?
That's his name. He's JP in the show. But
I kept thinking to myself, what does JP stand for?
I wanted to know that too. I'm like, okay, well, how hard is your name to say? But JP is Jared.
Okay.
We have a Josh. We have a Carter, the fisherman.
Oh, yeah. The one that they were talking junk about?
Yes. Then there was a Justice, Mr. I Have One Great Talent, Mr. Cunnilingus himself. Then we have Milton. Milton, who has the name of a 95-year-old, but he's only 24.
But he acts like a 95-year-old.
He's a very old soul.
His name suits him.
He's another one that I kind of like. I feel like
I like him too.
I like Milton.
His name is, his mother anointed him with that name.
Yes. Then we have a Nija boy, Uche.
Oh, Jesus.
Uche is a 33-year-old lawyer. And those are the men.
And those are the men.
And the women of Love is Blind season 5.
Yeah. Woo. Clap it up.
Clap it up for y'all fools. Thank you for entertaining us. But those are the lineup. That's the starter pack, and we're gonna follow the men. It's Milton, Uche, Izzy, a little bit of Zach. I feel like, or not Zach, Chris. I'm sorry, but Netflix like really
they keep getting the same people.
It's always like
it's different versions of the same.
Yes, it's white men with brown hair and light eyes.
Exactly.
And it's like Zach, Carter, Chris. I can't keep hold of it. But yes. And so those are who we're starting with. And oh my goodness, the first episode.
Messy.
What was your least favorite part of this episode?
The sexy part? Like, I'm like, y'all know each other for 20 seconds and y'all already talking about positions. And relax.
Calm down.
Relax.
Take each other to dinner or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dang.
They jumped right into it.
Like, do you even remember these people's names? I bet you don't. I bet you don't.
I feel like they can't. I
didn't even remember their names. I'm just a casual observer.
Like, this is not possible.
But now I know what position you like.
Oh my God. They were asking all types of like inappropriate things. My least favorite thing about this episode was the amount of trauma dumping. I don't know if you walked away. I know people are like, let's be vulnerable. But also like, this is some deep-seated childhood trauma.
Why they do that?
Why do they do that?
They do that.
Why do they do that?
To keep their camera time. I feel like you have to like the people. Do you ever notice on Love Is Blind? There's a thing. Everybody who like spills the beans the first second of their date is the people that we end up following. So I think they do that to get their camera time. Oh yeah, 100%. Like
okay.
No disrespect to Johnny, but she definitely wanted her camera time.
Oh yes,
she was gonna get it.
Yes. But let's start off with Miss Huracan Lydia from Puerto Rico. So Lydia comes in loudmouth, annoying as hell, into every date.
Yes.
I feel like you see her before you hear her before you see her. She walked in and she was like, hola, and I love me my little mamacitas, but she was a whole lot.
Yeah, she was doing a lot.
And she
was doing a lot the whole time.
Every second she was on the screen, she was doing the most. At every turn. There was no breaks.
Also, she cried a lot too.
She cried a lot. She was delusional or delulu.
It was real.
The delusion was on the fifth dimension of I don't even know what planet.
Like all that stuff she had going on with Izzy, she made it up.
So yeah. So what Margaret's bringing up is that one of her dates is with Izzy or Ishmael.
Yes.
And instantly she takes to him. Why? I don't know. Because she's asking him questions.
He ain't asking her nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Quiet.
He responded to her questions and she would go, oh my God, me too. And I'm like, that's not enough, babes. What else do we got? So she would leave these dates and be like, oh, Izzy's my number one. And not only does she think these things, she told other people.
Yeah.
She told Izzy.
She told Stacy.
She told Johnny, who's also about Izzy. And so she walks in there. I think they were on screen together maybe 3 times. And each time she's like, oh my God, Izzy, when are you going to propose to me?
We're the same.
We're the same person, but we're not. And again,
here's Izzy. Yeah. Okay. How are your other dates?
Are you seeing other people? Please say yes, because
I've made some other connections.
You know, it takes me a while to like hunker down.
Yeah, I have to process. I'm the type of person who has to think about things.
Yes, he was pussyfooting around. I don't like you.
Yeah,
and Izzy could have been like,
he could have, but I also feel like you need to be able to read between the lines.
Yeah, and she was not reading.
Don't insert like, okay, if there's a sentence being said, don't insert your beliefs into it. Take that sentence for what it is.
Yes, ma'am. I feel like Lydia was having a conversation with herself.
She was just making shit up
the whole entire time.
Like she was like, we have a connection. Where?
I didn't see it. I said
I didn't see what you saw.
I was very confused too. I said, interesting. And you don't even know what he looks like, because I can't even say, oh, you were a little dickmatized, you were a little
something. No, like you were just making shit up
in your head, delusional. And so Izzy goes, hey, I've decided to pursue other people. And this woman has a meltdown.
Oh, she cries. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with crying. You know what I mean?
It's the way she cried.
With having emotions. But I hated when she was like, what's wrong with me? Like, what was it?
Yes.
Can I ask you what it was? And I'm like, girl, if you know you bad and you know you're the one,
Yeah.
Just get up, right?
And he goes, there was nothing wrong. Well, there has to be something wrong. And I'm like, ma'am,
I just want to be loved so bad. And I'm not trying to, okay, seriously, like not trying to trivialize people's feelings, because everyone has moments like that.
yes.
But babe,
She kept having these moments. So it's like,
yeah.
it's a personality.
Also, he's breaking up with you. He doesn't want to hear that you really want to be loved, because he's not the one who's going to love you.
My thing was like, how deep was this connection that you felt this way? Because
it looked like it was day 3, in my opinion.
That's what I'm thinking. At one point or another, I feel like when you're in these pod dates, I think it's like 14 days total that they're there together. If y'all are just talking 2 days, you can't tell me this is love.
Well,
other people have, but also I feel like those people hunker down rather quickly.
that's true.
Izzy was like, you talking to other people? And she was like, yeah, but I want to talk to you.
He was like,
And so Izzy shuts that down. Lydia has already had a date with Milton, Mr. I Love Rocks.
yeah.
He
really loves those rocks.
He heard she was a geologist, and he like literally got a hard on.
Vomited.
Oh my God. He was like, it's it. That's it. It's a wrap. You and I, we're going to watch rocks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool.
In my microscope.
Yes. He's like, I'm going to get different types of like Teutonic
We're
plates.
going to take a hike.
And I'm like,
and
wow.
we're going to find rocks, and we're going to go study it.
I love his passion. I love how nerdy he is, and I love how like secure he is.
I really like him.
I'm rooting
He's
for
a
Milton.
really likable guy.
And you know what it is? He's himself. He's not trying to be a cool guy.
He's just trying to be himself.
He really is. And so Lydia had a date with him previously before Izzy or after Izzy. But when he told her he was 24, she was like, she's like, I'm 30, you're a baby. No.
She was like, you're younger than my younger brother. I think that's what she said.
That's exactly what she said.
And respectfully, Lydia, he was showing you genuine interest. Like,
He really was. And
even though he was young.
And very mature for 24.
Like, what's this old?
But Miss Lydia started backtracking.
Oh, yeah, backpedaled quick.
And she was like, I just want you to be vulnerable with me because I feel like that's what's stopping us. No, ma'am. You were hot and pressed for some Izzy. And Izzy said, no.
Yeah.
And so now she's, all over Izzy. Not all over Milton. Milton's her dude, and that's the one pairing. So Izzy's talking to now Johnny and Stacy. And so I guess with Johnny, it's like dramatic, and they're talking about their feelings, and they're being vulnerable.
They're like deep.
And it's like as deep as they can get, I suppose. And then with Stacy, he's like, it's fun.
It's very fun. They're having like a great time. He knows he can take her out, and they'll have a good time together. But he felt like she lacks depth.
Which I could see why, because they're just giggling.
I mean, yeah, she was giving kiddie pool.
And that's fine sometimes, but y'all trying to get married.
She reminds me of someone else from a different season.
Was it Tiffany? Because Tiffany for a while was like, what's more to you besides this? I didn't get a lot from Tiffany.
Well, yeah, Tiffany was giving me kiddie pool as well.
But I also don't know if it was like I'm not going to open up for the cameras, or if I'm not going to open up for you. But yeah, she was giving me
I think she just might have been too stable, so they didn't even give her camera time.
I could imagine. She's not giving a lot of.
There's somebody they were like, I don't know. I have to think about it.
Was it Colleen?
Yeah. She
I'm a
reminds me of Colleen
ballerina.
a lot.
I'm a ballerina.
It's like, do you have a person? Is there anything going on?
What do you do?
But I guess Stacy came around eventually.
So that's right now the one main triangle. So Izzy's in between Stacy and Johnny, and then Johnny's in between Izzy
and Chris.
Yes. And Chris is this really like nice, soft-spoken guy.
Oh my God, loves her.
He's like, this is it.
Validating her. He's like, I'm really interested in you. I care about you.
Yes.
And like,
I see you sitting with my family.
That care is the like baby sister or baby brother of love.
Yes.
And he's like, I deeply care about Johnny.
I love that, and I really wanted her to choose better, and we'll talk about that later. But Chris is very much open. He even opens up about how he lost his virginity, which is pretty much, it was sexual assault.
Yeah.
Which was really sad to hear him, verbalize it, but he opened up to her in that way. Again, a lot of trauma dumping. I wouldn't say what he did was trauma dumping.
No, I think his was appropriate.
Yeah, because they were asking a question about how you lost your virginity, and so that's another little triangle. And I was rooting for Chris and Johnny.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll get there.
I wanted that to be the pairing. You have Uche the lawyer. He's kind of hunkered down on Aaliyah, and he's a very pragmatic. And Aaliyah was down for him for sure. He picked her and she picked him. Yeah. And so
Very pragmatic.
Very logical man. And I don't know if you remember, he was on a date and he was like, the divorce rate is like 60% and the divorce time. Like,
he's a lawyer. Like,
I guess so.
He's giving strong lawyer vibes.
And that's great, except we're dating. So I don't need to hear that, year 5 is like the highest risk for divorce.
Yeah. Also, like, how are we going to not be that? You know what I mean? Like, how are we going to not do that?
Like, what are your plans, sir? And so he starts talking to Aaliyah. Aaliyah's very like, I love poetry.
Yeah. And she brings out a different side of him.
Very soft.
Quickly.
Oh, for sure. I did not expect this man to be writing poetry.
Right. I was thinking, get up off my screen.
I said poetry like Dr. Seuss. Like that type of poetry. Are we talking about like deep poetry? I was like, I can't envision.
1 fish, 2 fish.
Blue
Let me not
fish,
say
red
nothing before
fish.
we get copyrighted.
But no, but like I never would have imagined him being someone who does poetry, who writes it, and then also does spoken word. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So their little item, and then I forget who else is in Taylor and Jared.
Yes, Taylor and JP.
They click really quickly. I don't foresee any major problems coming from that group.
I don't know. Maybe she won't like the fact that he's a thumping trumper.
Oh yes. So Jared, JP, his favorite colors are red, white, and blue.
Yes.
He's a true blue boy.
Yes.
He was in one of his dates with a flag.
Mm-hmm.
And he even asked her, what color sneakers do you think I'm wearing right now? She goes, blue. And he goes, what else? And she goes, red and white. He was like, yeah. So he
loves America.
And I mean, America, I hope you loves you back.
Yeah, I do. Of course they do.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of America loves, what part of America loves him. But the point being, it seems like he's a conservative man, but it seems like Taylor is in love. She likes him. He's reassuring her, and she's reassuring him.
He really liked her.
She said, "Oh, when are you gonna propose?" And he's like, "Right now."
Right now.
And she's like, "Ha, we'll see." And he's like, "No,
I'm dead serious.
I'll do it right now."
I'll give him his credit though. He was like serious about Taylor.
I think they got engaged the first episode.
Yeah, they were the very first couple to get engaged.
And I will say this: we got 4 episodes. It took us like 3 episodes to get most of the engagement.
Like the engagements were still. We only saw 2.
Milton and Lydia. So
no, they got engaged. But remember, we only saw people see each other.
Yeah.
By the end of the 4th episode, we only saw 2.
Oh, it was JP
and Taylor, and then it was
and Stacy.
Izzy and Stacy, and that was it.
Yeah. And so I guess surprise, we just told you who got engaged: Izzy and Stacy, and Milton and Lydia.
Spoiler alert! If you're watching this episode, you should have known it was going to be spoilers.
Not the first episode though; they probably didn't know. But the point being is, right?
Yes.
So we're rooting for Taylor and JP and whatever.
Okay.
So Aaliyah and Uche come back for another pod date, and this is when shit hits the ceiling.
Yes.
Tell us, friend. Tell us what happened.
So they're talking, and they're like, what's your deal breaker in a relationship? And Uche is like, a liar, and Aaliyah's like, me too. I can't stand a liar.
It should be everyone's deal breaker.
Right.
We don't fuck with mentirosos.
Right. So neither one of them messes with liars. And I think, was it Uche asks her a question like, oh no, Aaliyah was like saying that she's made mistakes, she's lied in the past, she's done things,
and she understands why she doesn't want to do that.
And she understands why she doesn't want that in a relationship. And Uche's like, what you talking about? What did you do?
He said,
then he goes, wait a minute, have you ever cheated? And she said yes. And then he was like, wait a minute, when did you cheat? Or like, no, when was this relationship? And she says it was 2.5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, so you a recent cheater.
He hit low. Didn't hear Michelle, when they go low, we go high.
No, he went to hell. He immediately brought it down. And she's like, no, Uche, don't call me that. And he's like, nah, sis, you cheating.
He might as well have just called her Jezebel.
Basically.
He basically
was like criticizing her.
Yes.
The whole rest of that conversation.
You would have thought she cheated on him.
Yes. Like he was acting like she cheated on him.
It was to the point where it did not matter what she said. He was ready to knock her down.
Yeah. And so she was crying, and she had said to him, I feel like I've forgiven myself. Like I really hated myself for a while after I did that. But like I've gotten over it. I moved past it, and I'm going to be different, and I'm going to be better. And he's like, well, how do I know you're not going to do this to me?
Yeah, he
wasn't having it. Okay, he was not having it.
And then he kept asking for details. Like, did you tell him? And she goes, no. He's like, why didn't you tell him?
Oh, that sent him on a next spiral. Like, that was the next layer of spiral.
Yeah, she's like, well, I didn't want to hurt him. Are you sure you didn't want to hurt him, or you just didn't want to, like, come out with it? It was more about you than
were you protecting your own feelings?
And I'm like, well, dang. Why don't you just get the noose and just hang her off the tree or something?
Right. And so she was like, basically, she said to him, like, there's nothing I can say that's going to make this better. And like, she was like, I feel like, you know, this conversation is not productive. Mm-hmm. And so she gets up and she walks out. Mind you, after like 30 seconds of awkward silence, Uche's like, you know what? I appreciate that you told me. The girl's gone.
She left. In tears.
In tears. She was sobbing.
And it was so sad.
And it was horribly sad. And then guess who consoles her?
Ah, yes. Our Puerto Rican princess. Not Jocelyn. Lydia.
I actually like the Puerto Rican princess. Can we name her something else? Because I don't know how I feel about Lydia.
Lydia is some shiesty.
I don't know how I feel about her.
Yes, we stand Jocelyn Hernandez in this household.
Yes. Yeah, we like the Puerto Rican princess. We like her.
We love the Puerto Ricans. We love them. So, yes, Aaliyah is in a tizzy. She's crying. And Lydia swoops in because when Lydia was out in a tizzy for Izzy, and she was crying her eyes out.
Aaliyah definitely consoled her.
And she was so wonderful. And it was really nice to see, refreshing to see on TV two women.
Yeah, consoling each other. Loving, kind, and just telling you, like, it's not you. You're beautiful. You're great. Like, these are personal problems on his behalf.
Yes.
He needs to figure it out. And don't get me wrong, it was real cool.
It was cool.
Was saying a lot. You know what I'm saying?
It was cool until it wasn't. She was like, first, tranquila. Mm-hmm. It's okay, mommy. You got this. And I'm like, okay.
Mind you, in my mind, I'm like, how you know she know what I mean?
I think it's just the body language tells you.
I get it.
The body
I know what tranquila means, but I'm like, how you know she know what I mean?
I feel like the body knows, like, relax. I got this, right? Yeah. And so Lydia's like, you know, Uche's too smart for this. He's a lawyer. He has a business. And I'm like, why are you talking about this man?
He needs to handle his own issues.
Like, you know him.
And like, she was just so like, there was so much venom in her voice.
Yes. And
I was like, girl, pipe down, because you don't really know that man.
And you don't really know her either.
You know what I mean? You don't know the situation. Like, granted, I really appreciate you consoling your friend. Yeah. But you don't know what she got going on with her man.
And then Lydia takes it a step further. She goes, I see myself in you.
You're literally me.
I see you in me, and
we're the same.
And I'm like, okay, Lydia. And at this point, I'm like, a little ick, but like, it's cool because we don't know what we
didn't know what we needed to know.
Yes, and so that was really nice. And so we're on a cliffhanger, not knowing what's going to happen with Uche and Aaliyah just yet. And I think at this point, did Lydia try to get back with Milton? Probably.
Yes, I think so.
And so pretty much the rest of the episode of episode 1 is people just figuring out who their primary person is. So we have the triangle, which is Izzy, Johnny, and Stacy. Johnny, Izzy, and Chris, which really knows she wants to be with Johnny, with Izzy. And then, so we've gotten our pairings for the most part. And so the second episode...
Yep.
So sorry.
In episode 2, it starts with Lydia hyping up Aaliyah.
Yes. And this episode is called Can I Talk to You for Real?
Yeah. She's hyping up Aaliyah because, you know, Aaliyah's going to go talk to Uche for the first time. She's like, you got this, girl. Like, you got it. It'll all be good. Go talk to him. So Aaliyah pulls up on Uche and she like, hey.
What you did last time was not cool.
Was not cool. And she said like that I need to be with a certain kind of person, and like how you treated me and how you were talking to me made me feel X, Y, and Z. And here comes Uche. Is that what I said?
And that is what you said, my friend.
And I hate when I like the way he said that. I'm triggered.
It was very aggressive.
Triggered.
It was very aggressive.
Triggered. Triggering. Like what? Yeah, that's what you said. What you mean by what's this?
And the thing about it is he starts apologizing right after, and it was still like aggressive almost. Yeah. Kind of like he was eating his words.
Well, that's not what I meant. But that's why I apologize, because that's not what I meant.
And
but he really does give her like a sincere. I put that in quotes only because I didn't like his tone, but it was an apology.
It started very high, and eventually he kind of like slowed down.
Yeah, he brought it down to earth, and Aaliyah forgives him
because she's a nice woman.
Yes,
she's a good person.
Yeah, she's a good one, Savannah.
A good one.
A good one.
She's in a tough position, and so They tell each other how they want to be with each other. Uche tells Aaliyah, I don't want to lose you.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't want to lose you either.
And I said, black love. We love to see
Yeah,
it.
right. Literally, they're like, yes.
I'm like, I love to see two adults having a disagreement, coming together and resolving it by airing out their true feelings.
Right.
Without being disrespectful.
Right.
So, snaps for them.
Yeah, we were happy. And they started lovey-doveying again.
Which we love.
And then we move to Stacy and Izzy having fun. Looks like they're really hitting it off.
They're playing mini golf.
Yeah, they're mini golfing and they're drinking and talking sexy and all the things. It's cringe.
It's very surface.
Yeah.
I wanted to fast forward through most of it. Yes, it's giving 3 feet, waddling around.
Exactly. Dip your toe and you hit the bottom.
And it's like, I guess that's fun and nice after such a dramatic episode. I guess that's nice, especially we just had a dramatic moment with Uche and Aaliyah.
So it was like nice and lighthearted.
Palate cleanser or something like that.
Yes, exactly. And then we fast forward to Chris telling Johnny that he's in love with her.
Yeah. We're Team Chris over here too.
We're Team Chris, but Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. She doesn't tell him.
She doesn't say it back.
She just says, I see myself having a future with you.
Yeah.
Which I think he takes it as a reassurance.
Yeah.
Which I can imagine if you've only been on a few dates, maybe he's feeling like, I'm in love with her, but I understand that she will get there eventually.
Right.
But he's all in.
Yeah.
His eggs are all up in that Johnny basket.
In that basket, exactly.
All up in it.
And so that we cut to Izzy having a date with Johnny not too long after.
Yes.
And he like confides in her about a situation that he had in his like family background and about how his dad, he found out like when he was a teenager, wasn't really his biological father.
Very traumatizing.
Yeah, super traumatizing. And he's like, I've never told anyone this story. And Johnny's like, wow, he opened up to me. Like,
yes.
Yeah, so she thought that was really beautiful. And he was moved because he, hadn't told that story and didn't think he was going to get that deep. So he was so moved, he pulled up on Stacy like, so what's up?
Yes, he was like, so me over here, I'm this homegirl over here, we be talking about real things.
Yes, like we're deep in our feelings.
What are we talking about?
And you and I are very surface level. Like, I feel like I love you. How do you, where are you in terms in love? And here goes Stacy. I mean, I could get there. I could see it.
I appreciate her not being a liar.
No, it's good that she didn't lie, but she gave a very fuck girl answer. If I'm being honest with you.
There are a bunch of F girls in the season.
And that's why he looked at her dead
through the wall.
He was like, he looked so annoyed because he's literally telling you, I need you to open up. Like, how are you feeling? Like, what do you feel about me? And she was like, it's whatever, you cool or whatever.
I'm having a fun time.
Yes, literally. We're having a great time.
The word fun was used way too many times.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, I think she said she's always going to pick a fun time or something like that.
And she's like, and that's what she would pick that's what she would pick if he was her. Yeah. A fun time.
Yeah. And so he was not enthused by her response.
He was like, all right, whatever, babes.
And so then we see JP proposing to Taylor, which was super cute.
It was very cute. He was, grinning ear to ear.
Yeah. Oh my God. You can tell that man loves him some Taylor.
He hadn't even laid eyes on her yet. And he was like, that's my baby.
Was like, that's my baby.
That's my little sugar.
Sugar butt and sugar.
I was like, sugar butt and sugar.
But I realized they're in the South. Like, as soon as she said that, I said, yeah, y'all in the South.
I said, sugar butt.
If you ever want to cringe as an East Coaster, go look up terms of endearments that Southerners use. That shit's cringy as hell.
I mean, I got a little honey, a little muffin.
That is, girl, it's more than honey and muffin.
Oh my God.
It's what is it? Stinky butt. That's all that stuff. That's where that all comes from.
I hate when people call their significant other stink or stinky.
Yeah.
I'm like, as somebody who enjoys smelling good,
it's offensive.
Don't you ever in your life call me stinky. Because we will fight.
Yeah. Actually, never mind. Total anecdote. We're not even going to go there.
Okay.
But I literally can't stand their little pet names for each other. But you know what? It works for them.
Love is love.
Each other.
Yeah.
And so
we got our first engagement.
It took us
this
2
was
episode 2.
Normally they wrapping it up.
Yeah. Usually we about to be in Mexico.
I want to be in Mexico. I want to see Cancun. I want to see the beaches. I want to see the black. I want to do all the things.
Yeah.
But they're moving slow. But yes, we got one engagement so far.
So then we see Johnny breaking up with Chris. And she tells him, I'm hurting on this side too.
And so poor Chris is wishing her well.
Yeah.
He wants to be with her, but he's going to let her go.
Exactly.
And yes, before she leaves, she's like, it hurts on this end too. And I'm like, did it really? But eventually we find out it does. But
yeah,
there was nothing wrong with their interactions. He never did anything icky or weird. It is simply she has these intense feelings for Izzy. Yeah. And Izzy had just opened up. So I think she was like, this is it.
This is it.
He and I were end goals.
He is my it. And so she goes on a date with Izzy. And she tells Izzy that she ended it with her number 2. And Izzy's like, wow, yeah, I know.
I saw the damage. I saw the wreckage.
Was there. And she feels really bad to hear that Chris was really upset. Shockingly bad.
Yes.
To the point where I was like, girl, didn't you pick Izzy? Like, why are you? What's up? Yeah. She was like really like.
I think there's something in your stomach that always tells you when you've made a bad choice.
Yeah.
But I think, unfortunately, a lot of human beings are very stuck in their ways. And they're like, if I made a choice, I got to stick to it and see it till the end. When really, when she felt that, she'd have been like, actually, Izzy, let's wrap this up, buddy.
Right. But that's not what happened.
No.
She was like, I just know it's you. And she decides to confide in Izzy.
Like Izzy confided with her.
Yeah.
So she probably thought it was a safe space.
Yeah. She thought it was real safe. So she tells Izzy that, you know, she, in her previous marriage, the man she was married to was not the love of her life. And the love of her life had actually been her ex, who ended up ultimately dying of a drug overdose.
Yes.
And Izzy did not take that well.
He was visibly upset, sick.
I thought they needed to get a medic. 911.
His pulse.
Emergency.
He was holding his head up like this.
I thought he was going to pass out. That boy looked up. He looked sick.
He didn't even say like, hey, how you doing with this? I hope you're okay. Thank you for opening up. Nothing. She had to go like, are you still there?
Yeah. And so he says to her, I'm just processing. And that's when I realized that he says that a lot when he's not feeling the vibe. Because he also said that to
Lydia.
Yes. He said, I'm just processing. I'm the type of person who has to process.
Yeah, he said that to Lydia. I guess we can call Lydia the Puerto Rican pauper.
Yeah.
Yes. Because of the princess and the pauper?
Yeah.
Is that how it's
Pauper.
Pauper? Pauper?
Pauper.
Pauper?
A pauper. I think it's a pauper. A pauper.
We can call her the Puerto Rican peasant.
I know that's terrible.
That's mean? Very mean? Okay, we'll find another name for her. Your face is like, why would you say such a mean thing?
Yeah, Puerto Rican. What else starts with a P?
I don't know, man.
Prattler? Because she was chatting it up.
She was. We'll find a name for her eventually.
But
he did say that to her as well.
Yes.
And I think it gave him some time to think about his escape.
Yeah, because he looked like he was ready to run.
He said, I'm done with this and I'm done with you.
He was definitely done.
And I think in that moment she realized.
Yeah, I think she realized that it was too much.
She was like, well, and also made a bad choice. Because she was like, Chris. I think in her head she probably was like, Chris would have never done this.
Yeah, Chris would not. Chris would have. But that's where this is my problem with Johnny. Because you should have known that Chris was a better choice, because Chris wouldn't even have bat a freaking eyelash when she said that.
No.
But here goes Izzy, and Izzy like needs that reassurance. He needs to know that the last person you were married to you loved, because at least he knows that you're capable of love. Whereas now you've told him that you married somebody you actually weren't in love with.
Yeah.
And here you are dating another man. Like, how does he know you're really going to love him?
That's true. And Johnny said she called herself a walking red flag.
Yeah.
From the jump.
I remember when she said that, you were like, she should not be describing herself.
I don't think that's like, I get what she was trying to say, but like, this is not a badge of honor. Like, let's pick something else.
It's not. And you know what? Now in hindsight, I'm like, she's like, you know when people say toxic positivity?
Yes.
She's like one of those like toxic, I don't know what is the word. Like, you know those people who get a little bit of therapy, like they get like a little bit of language and all of a sudden.
You know what it is? it's people who rationalize their thoughts and their feelings, but they don't actually work through it. It's like
Right.
they're aware of what's going
Right.
on. They are aware of what they're
Right.
feeling.
Right.
But they're not doing
because
like,
she's not doing the work to not be a red flag.
oh my gosh, she's not. She's like, I know for a fact I pick people who are problematic and toxic, and then I run to people who are safe, and then I don't actually give myself away to the people who I'm safe
Right.
with. And I'm like, we know these things, Johnny, but what are we doing to fix
Yeah,
it?
like how are we gonna do better? But she obviously doesn't know either because she picked Izzy, and
Izzy was like, I'm good.
Izzy quickly decided that he was good on her.
And I would have had some respect for Johnny if in that moment she goes, I don't like how Izzy responded to this. I'm being vulnerable. You're hurting me by leaving me alone. You're abandoning me in my moment of vulnerability. I'm going to talk to Chris.
Right.
But
That's not what happened.
she's still hooked on Izzy.
Yeah, she still was like, I'm gonna give him time, and
Yes.
we'll see what happens. So the episode ends with Taylor and JP about to see each other for the first time.
And so the little country, he's not a cowboy, he's a fireman, but he's very southern. The southern fireman and the sugar butt are finally going to see each other. It's suspenseful.
Yeah, so we pick up episode 3 with Izzy and Stacy, I think.
Yes.
And Stacy's reading Izzy this she writes this cheesy poem.
Yes, she's talking to her
Izzy.
friend, and she's like, Izzy, you have me in a tizzy. You make me want to go whizzy. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I said, you're 33 years old.
Yeah.
Come better. Like, I cringed. But I feel like in the moment she thought it was very cute.
Yeah. I think people go into temporary psychosis in these pods because, baby, that's one of those things you never read aloud.
It's like the lack of sun, the lack of nutrition, the boatload of alcohol have definitely.
I just it doesn't. I felt in that moment when she read that poem the same way I felt when Zach started singing Irina.
I love you.
I love you. I was like, please.
Wanted to crawl out of my skin.
Please.
I wanted to crawl out of my skin.
I
was disgusted.
I'm not telling you not to feel your feelings, okay? But I am telling you that we're gonna remember these things.
It's gonna be
forever. It lives on Netflix. They own
forever. And anyone can stream it at any time.
Right. You could become a meme, and memes will never die.
No, and also people make compilation videos on YouTube just of the cringy parts.
Right.
And you just made the top 10.
Yeah, I said, wow, you guys are bold.
And I'm like, go off, Dr. Seuss.
And then we see that Uche and Aaliyah are still going strong. Yes. It's working out really well for them. And Milton and Lydia have a breakthrough when Milton confides in her about having scoliosis, and then he got in an accident and he got really, really injured and almost died.
Yeah, he had gone into organ failure and everything.
Yes, exactly.
And he talks about how his worry is that it could come back and what will happen? Who's gonna love me if I'm in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
And Lydia was like, I love you. Care of you. I love you, Papi. I love you in a wheelchair. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, okay.
And my guy Milton says, I don't want you to work hard.
He's like, I'm not gonna get no more scoliosis. I got this, babes.
But I loved the sentiment though.
Yes.
At that point,
put a ring on it.
Put it on and make him want to marry me. Yay.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's something with Milton and Lydia. Even though I feel like Lydia really, Loki was just trying to get picked.
Oh yeah, she wanted to be chose.
She's like, I want to leave here a winner.
Yeah,
with a rock on my finger.
Definitely wanted to get chose. But I believed her when she said she would take care of him. She gives me the type.
Yeah, she gives me wifey.
Yeah, she's a wifey for lifey kind of girl. I will give her that. And so then we cut to Izzy. And meeting up with Johnny for the first time after she bears her soul to him. And my boy broke up with her.
He left her distraught.
He left her for dead, child.
First of all, he talks about, when you and I start talking, it's very emotional. And he goes, and I love that you have traumas and insecurities, which I thought was weird to say. And then he goes, because I have them too. And we could talk about them. So I'm like, okay, I get it. You're trying to say you're both wounded birds. And then he follows up, but then I saw her.
Her being Stacy.
And he goes, and it was like, boom. And I was like, well, damn. Don't break up with me and then compare me to somebody else.
Yeah.
You could have just been like, I feel like I have stronger connections and I'm going to go with this.
Right.
And here's the thing about Johnny. She not only hears this and decides that she's not going to walk away and leave it alone. She's like, I'm going to convince you you're making the wrong choice. She's like, you're going to pick the safe choice. Pick me. Choose me. Love me. And I'm like, Johnny, if you don't collect yourself, gather some type of dignity and just leave.
Yeah. He said he doesn't want you, babe.
And of course he didn't say, I don't want you, I want Stacy. But it was her.
I mean, that's basically what he said.
Basically. But like, I was really hoping for her to be like, you saw how Chris left you alone? He was like, I wish you well and keep it pushing. Yeah. That's what I was hoping for Johnny.
Yeah.
And she was like,
she gave off the vibes that that's kind of how she would come off, but not. She showed herself in this episode.
She's like, I feel like you're gonna really regret it. And I'm like,
yeah, she was in the other room with the girls telling the other girls, like, if he chooses Stacy, he's gonna regret it.
And I'm like, alrighty, Johnny. If he picks you, he might also regret it.
Right, exactly. Like, not to say you shouldn't be confident in yourself, but I don't think you have to bring someone else down to be confident. Sure.
And if someone tells you, I don't see it with you, I really see it with someone else, you don't want to have to convince someone to be with you. You want
Right. You want someone to wholeheartedly pick you.
Exactly.
But, after Izzy broke up with her, immediately,
she's like, I made a mistake.
Chris!
And I'm like, and this is where I lost all respect for her. Because I'm like,
yeah. At that point, I was like, you're kind of not a joke, but like, yeah, you're a joke.
I put her in the same boat with Lydia of wanting to get picked.
Yeah.
Because if you could not see yourself with Chris, regardless of Izzy, because that's what I think about. If I were in these pods, it's one thing to say, I don't see a future with you. Mm-hmm. And if I don't see, if I see a future with someone else and it doesn't work out, I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. I'm just wrapping it up. Yeah. My husband's not here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna actually maybe backtrack and think about this. I'm gonna
you have to stand 10 toes down in your decisions.
Exactly.
And she showed that she is incapable of doing that.
She backtracked all
because she immediately ran back to Chris.
She leapt, she jumped, she flew.
Same day. So she talks to Chris and she tells him, I need to be with you. I can't be with Izzy because being with Izzy is like being with everyone else I always pick because I always pick emotionally unavailable men.
And I felt so safe with you.
Yeah.
And I never laughed as much as I never laughed as much with Izzy as much as I laughed with you. And she's just writing all
down the line. She's buttering this man up.
And then if you think about it, I'm like, so why did you not pick him from the beginning?
Exactly. When you hear her, it makes you think to yourself, well, if you feel that way, why didn't you pick him from the beginning?
And also, once you broke up with him, why didn't you turn back around?
Right.
And so Chris, the smart man he is, goes, let me think about this.
Yeah, let me think about it. And he goes and talks to the guys. And the guys are like, what are you going to do? You're going to give her another chance? Here comes Izzy. Well, you know something?
Before you do that, player,
let me tell you what she told me.
Let me put you on game real quick.
She told me that she doesn't want to pick you because she always picks the safe choice. And Chris is shocked because Chris is like, she told me the exact opposite.
Izzy was like, she told me that I was making the wrong choice. I'm picking the smart choice. And she asked me to not do that. Not only did I have to break up with her, but she actively told me to pick her.
Exactly. Pick me. Choose me. Love me. No, like literally. And so Chris was obviously put off at that point.
Of course.
He was like, so what is it? You know what I mean? Because you told me something very different than what you told Izzy.
So they go back to the pod, and then he's like, we need to discuss this. And Johnny shows her ass.
Yeah, she does.
And so Chris is like, this is what Izzy told me. Is this what you said? And she was like, well, I sometimes when you have a dream and mumbling through her words, and at one point stuttering. At one point she goes, yeah, because sometimes it was safe. It felt safe, but also it felt like repetitive and boring. She used the word boring to describe their interaction.
And he was like,
he's like, I want to be with someone who's excited to see me every time. As excited I was to always see you. I woke up in the day and I couldn't wait to talk to you. And she was like, I also wanted to talk to you every day too. And I'm like, Johnny, please.
You already said what you felt.
You're not winning the Oscar, babes. Nobody believes you.
Yeah. And so Chris was obviously heartbroken. But Johnny, for some reason, still had faith or something.
Yeah. She showed up real cute, like she was going to get proposed to. But he said, let's wrap it up, player, because it's not going to work. You obviously don't know what you want. And it's a whole mess.
Yeah. So at that point, I think that Izzy and Stacy, they get engaged.
They do get engaged.
And their engagement, like the whole proposal was weird.
I didn't get like, I'm in love.
Yeah, I didn't get love vibes from them.
It was just like, we should get married. Like, we're crazy. Like, crazy kids.
Like, there's nothing else to do but get married.
Like, you know, it's a Tuesday. Why don't we just, like, get engaged?
And then he, like, was, like, doing the, yes, F yeah, F yeah. And it was just very, like, frat boy-like.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know. I just, nothing about that screamed that like, you're the love of my life type of vibe. It just gave me that they are like really good friends that had nothing else to do but get engaged.
I agree, friend. It was very much like, I could just fast forward to this.
Whatever, let's do it.
I mean, you're here and I'm here and we're having fun.
We're having a great time.
We're having tons of fun.
So let's do the things.
And I'm like, okay.
And so they get engaged. Wah, wah, wah.
And Miss Johnny, party pooper, starts talking some junk.
She starts talking hella smack. She's talking about his credit score.
She was like, yeah, his credit score is not even that good. Girl, you wanted that man with his 430. Exactly. You wanted all of it. All the digits.
Exactly. When you wanted him. You didn't give a damn about his credit score.
Absolutely.
But all of a sudden,
now
he gets engaged to somebody else. And now you have so much to say.
Like, he's not ready. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, it was really not cute. And then we see Aaliyah and Lydia like Betty Buddy, like cuddling up, talking to each other, reassuring each other.
And you're like, these are going to be like the bestest of friends.
Yeah, like our men are going to be best friends. Like we're going to like go on double dates and like they're really cute. It gives like really cute friend vibes, right?
Which I like because I've always said with Love and Blind, most reality shows about dating, it's nice when you see women or anybody leaving like a bromance, a sister man's. Like even if the people don't end up getting married, it's nice to know two people found each other, whether it's through platonic love, amorous love. And so we're kind of rooting for Lydia and Aaliyah. Their friendship looked really, really cute. Yeah. Cut to Aaliyah and Uche meeting for a date. Yes, and it starts off sweet with some poetry. Yes, he writes Aaliyah this really cute poem. Yeah. And she's like super moved. And it's all going great until Uche says, hey, I got to tell you something. He has a secret. He's been, you know. And you knew it was bad because the music. Yes. Dramatic. Dun, 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 dun. Literally sound like a horror film. And the words that come out of his mouth, I was like, what are you talking about? So he goes like, so when my first day at the pod. I thought he was going to say that he has a stronger connection. Yes. That's what I thought he was going to say. I thought he was like, actually, I've been talking to someone else and it's going to be a girl we hadn't even been following. Right. That's where I was leading. And he goes, so the first date that I had, the girl recognized my voice. I didn't recognize her voice. And then, you know, we were talking and then, you know, they revealed themselves to me and we had dated outside of the pod. Yeah. And Aaliyah's like, huh? And you're like, okay, like who you been chatting with outside the pod? Right. And honestly, you know, you don't think much of it because you're like, you know, whatever, me, was okay, whatever. It's a small, you know, Houston ain't that big, whatever. Yeah, like maybe you matched on Hinge, you went on 2 or 3 dates, nothing happened. And so Leah's like, she was confused, rightfully so. She was like, okay. But, you know, who was it? And he comes to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. After lying by omission, because that is a lie, and reveals to us it is the Puerto Rican popper Lydia herself. The same Lydia, who they was reassuring each other and hugging, and we about to go on double dates and da-da-da. Is the same one and the same girl. She is her and she is same girl. The same girl. I know R. Kelly is not. But it also got Usher. Yeah, but let's pretend we're not talking about R. Kelly. We could just pretend it's Usher and like Chris Brown because he's an R&B dude. Okay, he's not a good option either. But like they're all problematic. Okay, just pretend that. But that was a bop.
It was a bop, though.
And I have a hard time. Like I don't have it on my list anymore, but I do think about that song.
It was really good. And the music video.
Yes.
Anyway, whatever. R.I.P. to the fact that that guy's a weirdo,
a whole rapist. And so yes, it ends with we find out Lydia and Uche were together before Love is Blind.
Yes.
And not only have they been together, they were met via pod, didn't tell anybody.
And at this point, they had been going through the pod cycle for like more than a few days.
Yes, very much so. And Lydia and Aaliyah are like
best of friends. And Uche and Aaliyah are getting along excellently.
So how this little tidbit, this little detail went unnoticed, I don't know how. Unless they were holding it back on purpose.
And so Aaliyah is devastated. Like, she's like, this is the worst thing you could have told me.
Because not only did he tell her this, but this is after he ripped her a new one.
Right.
For being a recent cheater.
Yeah.
So, but that's how episode 3 ends, right?
We cliffhanger.
It's Lydia.
Yeah.
And I think the 4th episode, it opens up with who? I forgot who it was.
It opens up with Aaliyah going to talk to Lydia.
Oh, isn't that? There's something before that, though, I think.
Hold on.
I swear, because I remember I was like, I was upset it didn't open up with that. Because I was like.
Okay, so the 4th episode, Uche and Aaliyah are still on their date.
Yes.
And Uche also reveals that he told Milton that he didn't have to get engaged.
Oh, right. He was telling Milton don't know either.
Yeah. Which, let's be clear, that's really weird.
That was
because
shiny.
my thing is, so you didn't even tell nobody that you was dating Lydia. But all of a sudden, the man that Lydia is messing with, you telling him not to marry her?
He was like, you don't have to get engaged here. And then he tells Aaliyah, like, I'm telling you this, but please don't repeat it.
And I just, that at that point, I mean, I think Aaliyah was distracted. I think she was just distraught in that moment. But my spidey senses went off. Like,
why you care?
If you don't have feelings for her, why the fuck you care if she gets engaged? Why does it matter?
Make it make sense.
Why are you talking to her man on the side? For what? Why you advise? I wouldn't advise that man a damn thing.
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't say a word to him. And then he's like, Lydia's a great girl. Like, and I will say, Uche didn't say anything bad about Lydia.
He didn't.
But then Aaliyah asks him, so like, do you have regrets? Like, are you trying to be like, what's up?
Like, what do you want to do?
And he's like, no.
I don't want to be with her.
I don't want to be with her.
And they do give us a clip of when they meet. And Lydia immediately knows it's Uche.
Yeah, she knew. Your name is Uche, or whatever she said his last name was.
Yes, full government name. And this is what you do.
And this is what you do. And this is where you live. And he's like, who the fuck is this?
He's like, and I love Kobe. Kobe's the name of his dog. And all this stuff. He's like, and she's like, you really don't remember me? And I'm like, he got a heavy ass accent.
Another thing that gets me is like, I need Lydia to be better at reading cues. Yeah. Because if you knew him off the jump and he couldn't even distinguish your distinctive voice,
he don't care.
He don't like you like that.
He never cared.
He never liked you like that.
And she was like, it's me, Lydia.
Just messing around in January.
Oh my God.
And he couldn't remember her voice?
Exactly. And so she's like, it's
Girl,
me.
He don't like you like that.
He's like, it's me, Lydia. And he's like, Lydia? She's like, oh my God, it's like Faith. Oh my God. She's like, should we start from ground zero? And he was like,
said, hell no.
He's like, I don't want to defeat the purpose of this experiment.
Right. He's like, no. So they part ways on day 1, but then they never tell anyone.
And this is making a lot of what Lydia said the first episode
makes sense.
Makes sense and weird. And
then it's really crazy. Because then she said to Aaliyah, you're just like me. I see myself in you. Girl, what?
See myself.
Get your ass up out of here.
You think you're playing deja vu?
Like,
no.
And so then it starts to look real shiesty real quick.
I immediately
because you like, buddied up with me and you was just messing with my man a couple months ago.
And here's the thing: the problem's not that Lydia and Uche used to date.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
It's that y'all never revealed.
You didn't say anything,
and you waited
until people were in love with you.
Yes,
to start telling them.
And this woman's rubbing my back, wiping my tears.
Right, like, and I'm expressing my feelings for you to her, and she went to Pound Town with you. What is this?
She took a whole trip.
No. Somebody got it at. Wait a minute now.
It's the deceit for me.
I didn't like that, and so Aaliyah's like, I have to go talk to Lydia.
Yes.
So she goes to talk to Lydia.
And Aaliyah's such a wonderful girl. Because she goes to Lydia.
Yes.
and embraces her.
She's like, I know.
He told me.
And Lydia, you know?
He told you? Aaliyah's consoling Lydia.
Yeah. Like,
she's like,
it's
no,
okay.
it's okay.
Like, it's okay.
He told me.
She's like,
She's like,
I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know what to do. And she's like bawling her eyes out. And at first, I was like, okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, we watched together, y'all.
Yeah.
Literally was saying to you, I'm like, you know, maybe she just didn't know what to do. Like, she didn't know. She was scared. But, like, she lets her cry. But then Aaliyah's like, so how do you feel about this?
Which I thought was very emotionally mature of Aaliyah to be like, hey, how are you dealing with this? Because I think Aaliyah was thinking, I'm in love with this man. Mm-hmm. You haven't told me.
Yeah, and you've been hearing me talk about him this whole time.
Is it hurting you?
Yeah.
And Lydia starts off great. Lydia's like, now that I see him, it's going to be like Aaliyah's husband.
Yeah.
Like reassuring her, like,
right.
it's with
like,
the past.
I have nothing. I have no feelings left for him.
The past,
I'm so happy for the two of you. Mm-hmm. And like, it starts off really, really freaking good.
And then it goes
and
left.
then Lydia starts running her big ass mouth.
Her mouth is as big as Puerto Rico.
Bro.
She starts bumping her gum. It starts
yapping.
She's like, remember I kept telling you we are like the same girl. I said, he picked the same girl like me.
Yes,
and I said,
and that's the thing. She starts saying, I can't believe he picked another girl like me. Like, you're just like me. And then it's just like all these things. And then she's like he has a dope ass house and his Tesla.
Yes.
And his dog is so cute. I hung out with his friends and like they're cool. And she starts telling Aaliyah all these things. And Aaliyah's getting pissed.
But Aaliyah's sitting there just being quiet.
Yeah, Aaliyah's sitting there putting on her best calm face.
Yes. Never let a bitch see you sweat.
Right. Except in that moment, I'd have been like, shut the fuck up.
Because it was the crazy thing was Aaliyah, not Aaliyah. Lydia's like, did he tell you about his Tesla? Do you know what his favorite color is? And Aaliyah's like, yeah, it's blue. She's like, it's the same color. It's a royal blue. And it's like, are you playing the game? I know you know my man more than I know my man.
Right.
Because that's what it's like. It's kind of like you want to coach me for my future relationship.
And so Aaliyah's like, I don't want to know these things
through you.
From you.
No, thank you.
And Aaliyah's pissed. So Aaliyah takes her ass to go talk to Uche immediately. Oh, sorry. Before she goes to talk to Uche, it turns out that Lydia and Uche broke things off in January. Oh, right. And they had sex in January, which y'all probably thinking, whatever, it's September. No, baby. At the time that they recorded the show, it was like 3 months prior.
It was April. They were filming it out. And the thing what happened was she's bumping her gums. She's talking. And you think she's finally dumb. She literally turns like, oh, also, we had sex in January. But like, and I'm like, if you don't shut the hell up,
at least not have to tell her that. That was actually completely unnecessary.
It was very inappropriate. But I would only understand her saying it if she wasn't talking about all this other stuff. She's like, hey, the last time we were dealing with each other, because that's how I would have said it, was in January. That's how recent it was.
But honestly, unless she asks you exactly when you were dealing with each other, now that she knows you dealt with each other, it doesn't really matter if it was 2 years ago or 2 months ago. At that point, y'all was fucking. You don't need to tell me when it happened.
I know what.
Because now Aaliyah's super pissed because she's like, you was just fucking this girl 3 months ago. Mm-hmm. So to me, I felt like I don't think that Lydia was trying to play the game of like, I know your man better. I think she just doesn't have a sense.
She doesn't have a filter. She's a bonchinchera.
Yes.
She's a bonchinchera.
Yes.
That's really what it is.
I don't know what it means, but yes.
Bonchinchera is like bochinche is like when you talk a lot. Yes. You talk a lot of gossip and you spread things. Another one's like she's a cotorra. Just talks a lot. Very fast.
Yeah, like she just was just
very
like
all the
shut up. Like literally, like as the viewer, you're literally like, shut the fuck up.
Be quiet, por favor.
Like
cállate.
Nobody asked you.
Literally.
Shut up.
And she just kept going.
And going. And going.
I said, how much more can you tell? Apparently
everything, all the bean. At this point, tell her how long his dick is. At this point,
just tell and just tell her all the things. He got a birthmark on his left butt cheek.
He got a hella left stroke.
He got a ingrown on his left toe. You know,
it was just very
the last four of his social are 21. Like
exactly. And so Aaliyah goes to confront Uche because she's like, "What the entire fuck?" Mm-hmm. And Uche is like,
and And apparently Lydia made it seem like Uche was interested in restarting it. Because she said, were you guys talking about starting from ground zero? And Uche said, no. Lydia is misinformed.
Yeah.
Because I did not
want to try again. I've been there, done that. And like he assures Aaliyah a lot, but Aaliyah was very uncomfortable. And so, she was very upset. She was like, I would never date a friend's ex. This is literally the worst scenario I could be in.
And I also think it's exacerbated by Mr. Self-Righteous Uche.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, you're a recent cheater? Sir, what are you then?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, you're a recent liar. Like as in 2 days ago.
Like very recent.
Like you've been lying.
You're an active liar.
Like lying.
Wholehearted lie.
Because omission is lying.
It is. I need people to get together. If you do not tell the truth, withholding information strategically is a form of lying. It's a form of manipulation.
Yeah. And so poor Aaliyah was literally devastated.
And so we were left thinking they'll talk again. They'll come back and talk.
They'll come back and talk.
And so Lydia is like, I got to go tell Milton.
Yeah. Lydia takes the cue to tell Milton.
Yes.
Milton also does not take that shit well.
Which I'm not surprised. He's just like, the heck?
Milton, yo, you knew he was he like, don't get me wrong, he's not like a big chatterbox, but he like
quiet.
You
could hear a pin drop.
That man was not happy.
She's like, Milton, talk to me. And I'm like, he don't want to talk to you, Lydia.
And he actually like says, I need a second, and gets up and walks the fuck out.
And she leaves again crying.
Yeah.
She's like, I think I lost Milton. I lost my papi. And I'm like, okay, I can see where she's a little distraught on this because he's not taking this well. But they come right back.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're my baby. Yeah. You're my sugars. You're my another sugar butt. In Spanish, mi nalguita de azúcar. Apparently, that's what they're, she's like, it is what it is. I wish you would have told me earlier, but we're cool.
Yeah, and he even tells her, like, if I had known earlier, I wouldn't have messed with you. But, it is what it is. But when...
Do Stacy and Izzy
Stacy and Izzy see each other.
Yes.
And Izzy looks super happy with his pick.
Very excited.
Stacy, on the other hand.
And here's the thing. Izzy, while he's a short king, he's a fine man.
He's a fine short king. You know what I'm saying? He look good.
I like his bald head. He's a very good looking man.
He got a bald... I won't... Let me not finish what I was going to say. I was going to say something very...
I want you. I'm going to have you.
Let me not finish that statement, but he looks good.
He looks great.
He's attractive.
I'm surprised she wasn't as excited as he was.
She was giving me like bitchy vibe. I hate to say that, but like she was giving me a kind of bitchy vibe. You're shaking. Why are you shaking so much?
He's nervous. He's meeting
right. Like this is the love of his life. He's meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
And like he's leaning into her, and I noticed she was kind of leaning back. She was leaning a little away.
She's like, "Isn't this like weird?" And I'm like,
and then they sat down, and she's like, "This is kind of weird, right? Like this is weird."
It's giving much Irina, like
right, exactly.
Like, why are you
exactly? I couldn't put my finger on it, but that's the exact vibe I was getting.
Miss Irina was like, "Why are you looking me straight in the eye? You're like a cartoon character."
Has anyone ever told you you're like creepy?
And I'm like, "Shut the hell up!"
Right, and like it's just. It was not. I don't know. You could tell she had the ick a little baby ick.
You
could kind of tell.
Like okay,
which is odd because like he was very honest that he was Mexican,
but he's a good looking dude. So I really
don't know what's wrong with her. You look like you got punched in the face by a Oompa Loompa.
She has these staunch contour
bronzer her
line.
Bronzer is thick as hell,
and her concealer is dry. Like I would like to whoever
and her Botox. Whoever did it hates her.
I hope.
Hates her.
I hope she sees this and like really reconsiders her makeup routine.
I hope somebody told her. Like I hope that like somebody, because it's been like a year or so since then, somebody had to have told her
because if that's on camera that you can see it like that,
it looks terrible in real life.
It looked terrible on camera, so it looks horrible in real life.
So that was a weird meetup.
And mind you, this is the second engaged couple that we've finally seen.
They're number 2, and this is the 4th episode, y'all. Number 4.
We're not in Mexico just yet.
Yeah, we still ain't there.
Normally, Mexico is like the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th.
Yeah, exactly.
By the 5th or 6th, we were like going to Houston.
Yeah, we're going to their homes. They're living together. No, we only got 2 engaged couples, y'all. And so after they saw each other, Milton quickly proposes to Lydia, and it's super cute. And he's like, you're gonna be my wife, and she's like, yes, I'll be your Puerto Rican wife,
a Puerto Rican baby. And I'm like, okay.
No, but like we're quoting her, y'all. That's literally what she said.
The amount of times that we've had to say Puerto Rico.
Yeah, because if you count it, matter of fact, drinking game, take a shot every single time Lydia says Puerto Rico.
You'll be drunk by like
you will be blackout. You're wasted.
All
by episode 1 ending.
It's ridiculous. And you know what? I shouldn't judge, because I feel like if you've ever met me and I were to describe myself, if I'm introducing myself to someone, I'm like, I'm Paola and I'm Dominican. Like, I feel like that's
but you don't say it that much.
I hope to God I don't.
I would have told you. I would have been like, baby, we know.
We understand. We see it.
We know.
We see the little flag in your car.
You don't do it. You don't do it that much. Yeah. She like everybody.
Gotta know.
It was loud.
She's repping her set.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, rep your set, but like
she's like, I don't want to be confused with Cuba, with the Dominican Republic, with Haiti, Jamaica. I am from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, she wants you to know.
And I'm like, okay. And so now they're together.
Yeah, they're married or not married. They're getting engaged.
They're getting engaged. They haven't seen each other yet.
And then the next scene, Uche's waiting for Aaliyah, and Uche's dressed up nice and stuff. You know, he got his nice little shirt on and whatever, press pants, waiting for Aaliyah. And here comes the voice from nowhere. Production goes, Aaliyah has chosen to leave the experiment.
And I was like, well, damn. And we're left with that cliffhanger.
Yeah, and that was the cliffhanger.
We get the trailer of what's coming next.
Yeah.
But let's discuss the fact that Aaliyah left.
I kind of respect her for that. It was just messy, like on both sides. And I don't like Uche's kind of standoffishness.
Yes.
Because my thing with Uche is like, you real holier than thou player.
Yes, very
But
much.
when it was you making a mistake, he was almost nonchalant in telling her about Lydia.
He's like, I'm going to expect you to forgive this. And
like he really thought she was going to forgive it.
And forgive it quickly.
Yeah.
Like it's like
he didn't even give her a period to like process and like digest.
And he was upset with her when she brought up what Lydia had said. Like, how dare you question me?
Right. Like how could you not believe me?
I'm like
you didn't fucking tell me either.
You lied. You lied by omission.
Y'all was both lying.
And
so it's just odd. And so Aaliyah did the smart thing, which is remove herself from the equation, because y'all two motherfuckers are messy
as hell.
And so he's like shocked, and he like goes back to the guys, and he's like tapping his notebook on his hand, and they're like, what's up? And he's like, she's gone.
And that's the title of the episode too.
Yeah, she's gone.
And so we'll see what happens next week. But the remaining of the trailer, you see people going to Mexico or somewhere warm and tropical, and more messiness ensues. We see Lydia and Izzy flirting.
Yeah, I don't know why that happens.
I said,
we see Milton's mama and his sister like, what do a 30-year-old want to do with a 24-year-old?
Asking very serious questions. We see Miss Stacy talking about, you're not the same person that you were in the pods. So there's Trouble in Paradise for those two.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We see Johnny and Chris reappear several times. So I guess they're back. And Izzy tells Mr. Chris, Johnny told me.
Yeah, she told me she loved me.
4 times. Not once, not dos,
twice.
not tres.
4 times.
4 times. Just in case you didn't hear me the first 3 times. I love you.
Yeah, and that was just odd. And then we also see Uche cussing out Aaliyah on the phone.
Yes, we
Which
do.
he's really self-righteous, and I don't like that.
And I'm like, you're disrespectful. And then we see Aaliyah with her beautiful natural hair coming to meet Uche.
Yeah, coming to meet him.
And I'm like, baby, you didn't deserve to be in your presence.
Not at all.
And so
one of these is not like the other.
And you know what? You deserve better.
Yeah.
And so that is what we saw the first 4 episodes. We binge watched it.
We
in one
ate them
night.
up.
We really did.
We ate them the hell up.
I like this season better than season 4.
Yeah.
Season 4 got on my nerves.
Season 4 was bad.
I feel like so far I'm ratings. Like I love season 1. Season
1 was top tier.
I like season
3.
I like season. SK really ruined season 3 for me. Afterwards, I felt lied to.
I agree with you, but like season 2 was such an abomination.
Oh, season 2 was at the bottom, like at the bottom.
It was such an abomination that I'm just like, okay, I have to say I like season 3 because I at least didn't hate it.
I feel like so far I got season 1. Mm-hmm. What I got from season 5 is number 2, season 3, 4, and dead last season 2. Season 2 I didn't even finish. I was like, I
didn't even finish watching. It was
disgusted.
A joke.
I was like, I'm disgusted.
I don't even know how they found those people.
I don't. I was like, throw Shake back into the ocean.
Like a joke.
And I didn't even watch like the after the altar stuff.
Nope. I literally didn't care to watch anything else of season 2.
I was just like, first of all, Jared and Ayana, I knew from Struggle Love. I said
once I saw Jared in Mexico trying to talk to what's her name, Molly. What was her name?
Not Gloria, Valerie.
Valerie. Why did I say Molly, child?
I don't know. Christ. Molly the maid. Hey maid.
Hey maid, you got your maid outfit on the way you always do.
I'm wearing a t-shirt and some jeans actually. And I'm like, Mimi, if you guys didn't catch the reference, we're referencing Love and Hip Hop. Like, Mimi, that was not a good comeback.
No, it wasn't.
That made it.
I don't think she knew what to say.
She's like, how dare you?
I would have just swung. You don't got to say nothing.
Let me clean up. Let me clean this up for you right now.
I got blood all over your bra.
I'm gonna clean it up right now.
Blood all over your bustier. What's up? What we gonna do? But so far, so messy.
So messy. And it seems like there's gonna be messiness between the men and the women.
Yeah.
Men and the men. Because last season, the men really didn't have any beef together.
Yeah.
Even
but this season, it looked like everybody about to beef.
Everyone got the smoke and everybody wants it. And so it's like, okay, well, we will see.
We will.
And if you guys enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. We will try to watch the next one. Well, are we going to be able to watch? We'll watch it eventually.
We'll figure it out.
And then we'll review the next 3 episodes, which I feel very happy it's not 4 because it's a lot.
Yeah. It was a lot to try to like process 4 different episodes.
We had to watch it twice because the first...
There was a lot happening.
It was a whole lot.
But I can't wait to see what goes on in Mexico because these people are about to act the fool.
I love when they reveal each other, like all the couples, and then that's when you know. That's when people really show their ass.
Oh, 100%.
It's always by the pool with the tequila shots and people...
I can't wait.
Show their ass. And we might see Uche's butt cheeks.
It is his. He's the only dark. No, it's his butt cheeks.
I'm like, it's not Milton because Milton's not there.
Milton, nice butt cheeks.
No, they were very firm. There was no cellulite.
It's not Milton. Milton's a little bit
scrawny.
He's a little bit thinner.
Yes, he's
Uche's full figured.
He has a nice little plump.
He's got a nice tush.
And so are we gonna see him in Mexico? Are we gonna see his butt?
Oh my God! That means we see him in Mexico.
Yeah, but with who is a lead? Like, I'm just okay. Now
now we really got to tune in because I want to know who he out there with.
Now I'm speculating.
But why did also Netflix stop showing us people's body parts?
I was like,
that's not what we're here for.
Last season, the little sex scene with Brett and Tiffany, I was like, this is...
They were all in her ass crack.
I said, I feel like this is no longer PG-13.
Once he said, get on top of me, leave the room. Immediately.
Cut the cameras.
The cameras got to go. Y'all knew you should have got up out of there.
Get out. Let grown folks do what grown folks do.
This is PG-13. It is not X-rated, y'all.
But we saw full dairy air, and so we will see what happens next week. But thank you for coming, and then she will be back. We have to figure out a name for this segment.
So far, so messy sounds good to me.
So good. Wait.
So far, so messy.
I love this, Margaret. Yes. Tune in next week for So Far, So Messy. And we will always try to be very messy. We will see you. Bye.